Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am the Sovereign, and this is another edition of the Court Council, where we discuss world news, YouTube events, aside from the other topics that occur here in my court. There has been a lot of drama in the Kardashian clan recently. I have talked about the Kardashians a lot. Most of the time, not the best reactions, but this is my first time discussing Kanye West. And I do have to disclose that because I don't want anybody saying I have any sort of bias towards or against anyone in this situation, because I am largely a very fair person and I like to be unbiased in order to discuss matters in a logical way. There's a lot to learn from the situation, and it's just drama for drama's sake. I just like the fact that this is all over the internet publicly, number one, it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. As much as I have spoken against the Kardashians and called them out on their blackfishing, their appropriation, their insensitivity. Kim's getting dragged recently for telling working class people to work harder. Miss, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Yes, everything that Kim's been dragged on, she deserves to have been dragged on. But this situation is toxic. What Kanye is doing to Kim Kardashian would get a normal guy thrown in jail. He would have a restraining order. Like, this would not be tolerated if it wasn't Kanye West. So catching some of you up on the backstory of what's going on. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West used to be married. They have, 4 children together? The oldest being Northwest. That comes into play a bit later. They have recently gone through a divorce. At first, Kanye fought that divorce tooth and nail and did not want Kim Kardashian to leave him. He did not want to let her go. Finally, the divorce is seemingly finalized. She has dropped the last name West and has started dating Pete Davidson. Seems very happy with Pete. I don't know what everybody's obsession with Pete Davidson is. I never thought that he was attractive, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder. By all means, have at him if you wish. Kim seems happy. Let the woman have happiness. However, Kanye is continuously interjecting in his ex-wife's life, and he uses the children as a catalyst to do so. Kanye, and in his defense, as the father of these children, he justifiably wants to say in the lives that these children are leading. He really has a problem with his oldest daughter, Northwest, being on TikTok with her mother. I'm not going to say she's on TikTok by herself doing anything inappropriate. She's not. She's there with the supervision of her mother, but Kanye West does not want to allow this. Now, let's get into the actual discussion and my personal thoughts on all this drama nonsense since it's out in the world. Oh, there's more tea. Trust me. We're going to get to all of it. In my personal opinion, children on social media, especially as young as North, I personally would not have my children on social media. However, Kim Kardashian and the Kardashian clan are multimedia billionaires. They have an empire based on social platforms, social media. It should not be surprising to Kanye West that his children, Kim Kardashian's children, would be exposed to TikTok, to Instagram, would be a part of the family business. As we recall, most of us recall, Kylie Jenner and Kendall Jenner were not even teenagers when they were on TV, when they were exposed. So you married into this family. And admittedly, Kanye himself has said this, I'm the man that made them popular. You're the one that made them popular. You made them stars. You should have expected that your children would be a part of this world. So acting like this is just, surprising in any way, it's a little bit disingenuous. You know the family you married into, and you helped build that family. Kanye has taken a strong disliking to the boyfriend, Pete Davidson. Pete hasn't really done anything wrong. Pete hasn't been taking shots at Kanye. Pete honestly has really been holding his own in a way that it would have been difficult for most people to tolerate. If we're watching you tolerate somebody that we're with, it's really hard to take a step back and not intervene, but Pete has kept his mouth shut. Kanye, however, has been demeaning Pete, calling Pete all types of nasty names, and going to the extent of making a video from his Donda 2 album featuring the head of Pete Davidson and attempting to bury and plant flowers on the head of Pete Davidson, clearly taking shots. Now, was it completely inappropriate? Yes. Is it beyond the bounds of artistry that I've seen other artists partake in? Not so much, but I understand with the continuous shots that Kanye is firing off, there comes a line that has to be drawn in the sand. Earlier, we saw Kanye throw a fit about Kim Kardashian not allowing Kanye into her house to celebrate, I think it was Chicago's birthday, one of their children's birthday. Kanye wasn't invited. And Kanye is accusing Kim of withholding the children, keeping the kids away, and all this stuff. And getting into the rant that Kanye went on, because that's what we're really going to talk about. But it's important to discuss the earlier shenanigans to really understand the context for that video. Kanye is accusing Kim of keeping him out of his kid's life. Kanye and Kim do not have a legal custody agreement at this moment, and Kim seems to just be making it an open door policy for Kanye to see his kids whenever she can, like, make them available, whenever it's appropriate. She's just trying to, make it happen without having to get courts involved. It seems like she's trying to just be nice about the situation, because if she was really a vindictive mother, there's some things she could have put that man through. This is nice. But he went on this tirade about Kim trying to keep the kids from him. And I'm sitting here as a person, yes, I have been through the legal situation of custody and courts before anybody tries the nonsense with me. No, I don't have children of my own. Actually, it was a baby mama who tried me and tried to get in the way of my relationship. And that's something that I don't tolerate. So yes, I will take your butt to court, and yes, I will win. But yes, I do have experience in winning. So full disclosure, okay? In a situation where parents are divorced, typically you're not going to be having family birthdays or holidays. You're not going to be spending those special moment times together. In a typical divorced or separated household, the mother will have a birthday for the child and the father will have a birthday for her child. The child gets 2 birthdays, and it's with the 2 different sets of the family because the parents no longer associate. That's how it's typically going to happen. There's no reason Kanye should expect to be admitted to the house of his ex-wife when Kim doesn't even allow, at the time, she wasn't allowing Pete Davidson to even meet her children. But after all the trouble and turmoil and threats that he put out on the internet, for him to then be expecting Kim to admit him to her home, when you've threatened the man that she's dating, when you're putting her business and her texts all out in the world, you're not on good terms. I would not let you in my house either. You're acting erratic. You're acting dangerous. She doesn't know if you're going to come to the house and start problems. So it seems like Kim seems to be keeping as much distance from Kanye as much as possible. And yes, Kanye has been putting out their private documentation, their private messages, their private conversations out in front of the world to see. We're going to get into the rant that Kanye just went on. I think it's like an IG rant or something, because I have the full video here. But Kanye seems to want to have a supreme amount of control over the lives of his children. He seems to want to have his finger in everything that his children do, which is, I understand that. You're a father. I understand that. However, in a separation or in a divorce like this, even if the courts do get involved, you don't get to have 100% control over your children's lives because it's 50-50. So in the situation of TikTok, where he doesn't want North on TikTok, he doesn't want his daughter on TikTok, 50% of the day, you can say North can't be on TikTok, but Kim still has a say as well. And I don't think Kanye is taking that into account. He wants his wants and needs to be the only say. He says, I want North to never be on TikTok. Where does Kim get to have a say then? When it comes to custody agreements, when you have your child, when it is your day and your time to have your child, you set the rules. You can control what they eat, where they go, what they participate in, because it's your time. But whatever that other parent does with their children, you don't get to have a say. That's not how that works. Now, if you guys are willing to work together like that, then that's fine. But Kim Kardashian is not going to banish her children from a brand that you helped create. And honestly, Kanye's behavior only serves to pit his daughter and his children against him. Number one, all of this, everything that's happening online, it's embarrassing, Kanye. He's acting like, in the video, he says, my daughter is going to be embarrassed by this, see this in the future. This is going to negatively impact their views in the future. And I'm like, that's not what's going to hurt them. What's going to hurt them is when they're all old enough to see the crazy ass videos of their dad going off on their mom every single day. They're going to see your erratic, irrational behavior. Everybody's going to make fun of Northwest because she's got Kanye's blood and therefore she's got a little crazy in her. That's what's going to happen. Kanye is embarrassing. You are embarrassing your children. And I understand, like Kim at this point, she seems to just let him do it. And it's going to help because if they do go to court, this is going to be used against him in court. Men really need to take their behavior into account when you're going into custody battles like this. I have more respect for Kanye because he was married to Kim. They were wed. I have a lot less respect for men who are simply just going around the world spreading their seed, and then you expect to have some sort of input or say into the women that you impregnated. Like, you weren't considering their feelings or what was happening when you done did the deed. So if they want to cut you out, this is why marriage is important, okay? Some men, okay? The red pill community. Those red pillars question the importance of marriage, yeah? You question the importance of marriage. Marriage is a contract that says anything that is created within this relationship, you also have 50% stake of. It is your contract to your children to remind some of you the importance of marriage. Otherwise, yes, the women just get to just do what they want. It's their body, their rules. Unless you contractually enter into an agreement with that woman, you really have a lot less to say. Not to say that men shouldn't have any input whatsoever. Absolutely not. But be smart is what I'm saying. Don't be dumb, because a lot of men complain about their situation when you helped create the situation that you are now having to suffer for.
Hey everybody, I just got off the phone with Kim. I told her to stop antagonizing me with this TikTok thing. I said it's never again. I am her father. I know y'all don't respect fathers and the idea of family, and media tries to promote something. I said I'm not allowing my daughter to be used by TikTok, to be used by Disney. I have a say-so. And then when people say, oh, they're going to...
Okay, like I said, fathers do have a say-so, but the mothers also do have a say-so. So you cannot institute a 100% ban on TikTok, because then the mother didn't get to have a say-so. This is why custody agreements are important, because then you can raise your kids 50% of the time how you feel like they should be raised. If you feel like your kids should be vegan, they can be vegan on your days, but not, you can't. It's very important to choose who you have kids with. This is why it's so integral, and men get caught in this situation where you end up with kids with a woman you can't stand, or you don't like how they're raising your kids. Why were you with her to begin with? Why did you let this happen? Like, you have to take some responsibility here. Kanye's acting like he doesn't understand the personality or who Kim Kardashian or the entire Kardashian clan is. You knew who they were. What did you think was gonna happen? He's like, I wanna have a say-so. You can have a say-so on your days. That's just how this works.
Use this for you in court. I didn't have a say-so on whether or not they went to Sierra Canyon.
He really wants to have the control. He wants all the control over his kids' lives. And like I said, this is only going to serve to further push your children away from you. There is no child on the planet, or even adult, who grew up and thought, oh, I loved when my overbearing parent prevented me from doing everything that made me happy. It's going to make his kids hate him. And I've had people in my life who were completely overbearing, and I've never forgotten or forgiven them for that. It cost me a lot more. It was to the point where it wasn't protecting me. You were just having control for control's sake. Kanye really wants to have all the control. He wants to have all the power. He's giving me red pillar vibes. That you're the man, Kanye. You're a man. Yes. That doesn't mean you get to puppet control your ex-wife or the children. Kim also gets a say. And it really seems like you don't like what she's got to say, but you're going to have to deal with it. That's the mother of your kids. She gets to say, you get to say, deal with it.
So when we had the Donda 2 release in Miami, I got a flight for all my kids to come from Calabasas to come in Miami to see the kids. Then assistant hit me and said, all the kids, they said the kids are there. When the plane took off, I got a text from Kim that said, North won't be on the plane. You see, this is the kind of stuff that's just like the Chicago birthday party. And I'm glad that y'all saw in the variety piece what I have to deal with. Here go another thing. The Doves high school basketball game. We hold one in California. My daughter loves basketball. I want her to see the league that her father is starting. North can't go to that game. Now we got Sunday service in the morning.
What he's not telling us in any of these situations is why. He's making it seem like his kids are just being kept from him. He's making it seem like all that matters is what he wants for his kids. And he's not taking into account what the kids want. Maybe North didn't want to go. Maybe that's why North wasn't on the plane. Maybe North had a slumber party or a birthday she needed to go to. Why? I find it very hard to believe this is just Kim just deciding, I'm going to keep North and you can take the rest of the kids. You have to provide the context without just continuously demonizing Kim. Because to have an open door policy for your ex-husband, who's been threatening and acting irrational and still allowing him to take the kids is very kind in my eyes, because the courts would not allow that to happen. I personally would not allow a man who's acting and behaving this way to be around my children without supervision. I don't give a damn. Kanye is worsening his own situation. I take pity on the man as a father because, yes, you want to spend time with your kids, but it's really coming from a selfish place. You're not thinking about what's best for the children. You cannot just fly kids across the country willy-nilly. They are children. They need a stable home. They have a bedtime. They have schools. Once again, these are things that a judge in a court takes into account when they are dividing up custody, is who is going to be the stable place, the stable household for those kids to live, because they don't want to shuffle children back and forth. It creates instability. A father who cares about his kids understands that.
This morning at 10 a.m. and it's North had a sleepover, so she can't come to Sunday service. I moved the Sunday service up to 10 a.m. so that I can go to Saint soccer game at 12:30. Move the entire thing. So I called different people I knew, and the best advice I got right now was from Tory Lanez, and he just said to pray and ask for God to speak through me.
The Tory Lanez that shot Meg Thee Stallion in the foot, that Tory Lanez, these are the people you're associating with, and you want us to have pity and sympathy on you? Kanye, who is like... I was going to say, where's this man's family? I know his mother passed away. He needs help. Like a friend, someone with some sense. Oh my gosh.
You know, I got 4 children, and there's so many people who don't have a voice and have the opportunity to be able to speak up. And just, God, if it is in your will, you know, touch the people that are currently watching my children, whatever sleepovers at, wherever they are at, the various nannies that watch all the children, and touch them and say, please bring my children to Sunday service this morning.
Okay, this is another thing Kanye really likes to do, is demonize anytime the children are out of the hands or out of the sight of Kim Kardashian. There is no parent on the planet who has their eyes on their children 100% of the day. The kids go to school, they go to their friend's house, they have after school activities and sports clubs. Hell, they go to sleep. And he's trying to demonize Kim with the nannies and everything. You were with this woman for how many years, Kanye? You approved of the nannies when you were with Kim. So don't suddenly demonize the staff that you were supporting while it was in your favor, while you were out jet setting with Kim K, when you were doing runway fashion shows, Yeezy fashion shows, because where were your kids then? You see how it's disingenuous? Because when he was holding the hand of Kim Kardashian, every time we saw him in the eye of the paparazzi, the rest of us could have been going, well, where's your kids, Kanye? Who's watching your kids, Kanye? Kim Kardashian is living the exact same life that she was living when you were around. You just have a problem with it because you're not there anymore.
God, this is out of my hands. It's up to you. This whole conversation of custody, this whole narrative, gaslighting, you know, all of this. It's like right now, this is up to you. Please. The boyfriend texts me, antagonizing me, bragging about being in bed with my wife. I thought it publicly for a year and a half. I've been dragged, and how she's not my wife. She don't have a last name, and now
We gonna say claps. I applaud Pete Davidson. I applaud the hell out of Pete Davidson. I have been in the position of Pete Davidson where it was an accident. I started dating a man with a kid, but I didn't know he had a kid when we started dating. But I was already invested, so I was like, what the hell, right? Bad decision. I'm never doing it again. But I was in the position of Pete Davidson. Pete has been very kind to Kanye, hasn't been dragging him on SNL as he should have been. But Pete Davidson had enough of Kanye really being public about Kim and their miscommunications, their arguments, him posting their private chats. He seemingly had enough. And he sent Kanye some words. And at first he was very kind about it, but Kanye wanted to get smart and said, oh, we're using profanity now. Well, where are you? And Pete Davidson said, in bed with your wife. And you know what? I have to applaud Pete at that. I like the feistiness, Pete. Had that been my man, I'd have hugged and kissed like the hell out of my man for doing that. Because I understand why Kim has wanted him to stay out of things, but there comes a point where enough is enough. And this clearly seemed to trigger Kanye. It seemed to truly upset him. And I just don't care at this point. You are dragging this woman publicly. You're issuing threats to DL Hughley because he said facts about how this entire situation is embarrassing and unhealthy and would be illegal if it wasn't Kanye West. Kanye doesn't even want to acknowledge the privilege that he's living under right now. Because all of you men watching this, you couldn't get away with this. Do not try this at home. Kanye will get you arrested. Pete Davidson at this point had every right to stick up for Kim. And even still, he's been reaching out to Kanye, trying to like squash the beef with Kanye, trying to do anything he can to get Kanye to chill out. And Kanye is the only one of this entire trio, Pete, Kim, Kanye. Kanye the only one making it public. Kanye the only one putting problems out in the air. Kanye, like, this is going to hurt him in a custody battle. He's not thinking.
He texting me talking and bragging about how he's in bed with my wife. And I'm like, well, who's watching my children?
As you acknowledged, Kim has nannies. She has assistants. The kids have school. Hell, they're in bed. They're asleep. Don't make it seem like Kim Kardashian is a bad mom. Like, yes, we've all seen pictures of Kim doing nonsense every now, but don't act like some of the most famous children in the world are unsupervised. He's being incredibly disingenuous, and it's very hard to take him seriously. And I promise you, a judge is going to find it really hard to take him seriously too, behaving like this.
I go and get the lawyer, change the lawyer so we can finally do the divorce, and then somehow I'm the one that's the stalker. God.
What do you mean somehow I'm the one that's the stalker? You're showing up to your ex-wife's house. You're watching your ex-wife's social media. You're tracking and threatening her boyfriend. You are tracking and threatening anybody who's been around her. You bought the house across the street from your ex-wife. How are you not a stalker? How does Kanye not get a restraining order? Ladies in the chat, in what world could your ex move in next to you or completely stalk your social media, post your private messages, post your private photos, threaten your new man? In what world do you not call the cops? In what world does he not deserve a restraining order? In what world is he not a stalker? If your attention was solely on your children, that would be one thing. It's so a little weird that you're like concerned about every little thing that they do. It seems like you're just using that as an in to that entire family's life. It seems like you're just struggling with the fact that you're out. You're out the gates. You're on the other side of the wall and they're keeping you out. And that seems to be the problem, is the fact that you had so much control over this entire family. I acknowledge and kind of fault him for the fact that he helped build up the Kardashians. Yes, you helped build that empire. And it's pissing you off a little bit that you no longer have the keys to the kingdom. That sucks, but you're pushing it to a level that is dangerous to both parties, including the children. They are going to see this in the future and they're going to be embarrassed by it. And at this point, I'm sure Kim's just sitting back and letting him burn himself to the ground, because when it comes time for a custody battle, this is all going to be brought up. His rants and his ramblings and his threats are going to be brought up. I would be floored. I would be floored. Also, I'm a person that studies law, okay, by the way. I would be floored if a court granted Kanye West joint custody. Right now, Kim is, they don't have a legal custody agreement. They're kind of just trying to share the children, which isn't going to work. And most women down there who have children, and you have exes, even some of you men, you're well aware it doesn't work because you don't get along with the other person. You really need the law to get involved. But Kanye honestly has more access to his children now than I think a court would legally give him. Because like I said, a court is not going to create instability for 4 young children. He's not going to be able to just fly them all over the country the way he wants. They're going to choose a custodial parent, which is likely going to be Kim, because she hasn't demonstrated any dangerous threats, any problematic behavior that would put her children in jeopardy. She comes off as a well put together provider. Kanye West right now is the one that seems to be creating the instability and the problems. This goes back to even Kanye's past before they were divorced. He's running for president and having mental breakdowns and crying on stage. All of this is going to be used in a court against him, and it's not going to go the way that he wants it to go.
I know our nannies, some of them are Christian. You touch them, please, God, today, and have them bring my children to Sunday service this morning. The devil ain't gonna win. You get what I'm saying? This is gaslighting.
It's not gaslighting. Actually, what you're doing is gaslighting, and you're gaslighting the audience. You're gaslighting people who are watching you, making the people that are watching, that can clearly see what's been going on, making them think that what you're saying is correct, that Kim's the mean one. Meanwhile, you've been harassing her online for months. You're telling those of us who see clearly that we're crazy and that we're wrong and that you're the good God-fearing one. What good God-fearing man issues threats to their ex-wife's new man who hasn't caused you any problems, or to a random comedian who just had things to say, who was asked a question? It's not like he was taking shots at Kanye. He was asked a question and he gave what I consider a very eloquent, reasonable answer from a competent black man, which you seem to respect, Kanye. I mean, you always bring up the fact that you're black. He always trying to make stuff a racial issue. It's not a racial issue. And he does bring it up in this. And I wholeheartedly disagree and call BS on that. Stop making everything a racial issue. We'll get to that. But what God-fearing man behaves this way? You are torturing this woman in the public for everyone to see, and then calling it gaslighting. Kim is much nicer than I ever would be to a man like this.
Kim gets black people out of prison. You know who puts black people in prison? The person that the boyfriend has a tattoo of, Hillary. You understand the setup right here? You understand?
This is the most disingenuous Christian prayer I've ever heard in my life. This is gross, and you want us to take you seriously as a God-fearing man. Why are you bringing Hillary Clinton into a conversation about your children, into a prayer about your children? And now we're talking politics. Now we're getting into the fact that because Pete has a tattoo of some woman you don't like, it's a problem and it's devilish and do you see why it would come off as unhinged? But you're supposedly praying to God. As a Christian, okay, and I'm not even ultra religious, this is blasphemous. This is like, you deserve to be struck down by the lightning and thunder of God, because this is a disingenuous prayer.
Please, in your son's name, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, please make sure my kids come to Sunday service. Please.
I really hope Kim didn't send those kids to Sunday service. I really hope she didn't. This is manipulation on the highest level. Why are you publicly doing this? It's unnecessary. And it makes you look bad. I would not honestly, Kim is handling this way better than I would have. There is no way I would have let my kids go to Sunday service or anywhere at this point with this man. I would be the fact that she hasn't filed court papers on him is miraculous. I have dragged the Kardashians, but right now Kim she is standing her ground. Right now she is having a heart of gold when it comes to Kanye West. Because not only would I take him to court, I would sue for full custody and get a restraining order. He is tripping. Disingenuous prayer.
We as men in that community have no say-so of where our kids go to school. I'll see if Trav does, but Tristan, I know I hadn't had a say-so. I didn't want my kids to go to Sierra Canyon. And so when y'all talk about this, are they going to use mental?
Okay, my thing is, where did you want the kids to go? Because first of all, by law, the children are supposed to go to school based on where they live. You go to school based on where you live. That's why certain schools are superly, highly well-funded, and other schools are not, is because the housing situation, the house prices, and the taxation on those super high roller houses goes directly to the schools within that vicinity. I'm assuming maybe the kids go to private school. You also have to factor in the protection of those very famous children. Where did you want to put them? Were you being reasonable? I'm going to guess not.
For the custody, I don't have custody. I had to fight to have my kids not on TikTok. It's been a fight for where my kids go to school, and we started our own school. It's always been a gang.
I'm sorry. Would you allow your children to go to a school that your ex-husband built? Like, so you can indoctrinate my kids? Do you see how you're behaving? No, there's not. Like, I was never married to Kanye West. I would not let my children go to a Kanye West run school. It has nothing to do with Kim being his ex. It has, I would like, no woman is trying to send their kids to a Kanye West school. Look at this. No.
A gang. You understand? It's like we've never had Christmas any place else other than one location for the entire time. And we understand that, but I want y'all to know, like, yo, this has been 20 years. I've been contributing.
Okay, I don't understand why he's okay with, he's like, we've had Christmas in one location for for years and years. And I'm like, I was going to be on your side in that. He seems okay with it. I'm like, okay, yeah, you guys could have switched it up for like holidays and stuff. That seems very controlling. And I know the Kardashians are very controlling over their image. But then again, so is Kanye. Do we all recall when Kanye got with Kim Kardashian? One of the first things we saw of Kanye West being with Kim Kardashian, he threw away all the clothes in her closet because he didn't like Kim's fashion sense, and he picked out all her clothes and he styled. Like, we are all well aware of how much control Kanye likes to have, and he's tripping out because he no longer has that. This is unhealthy.
Contributing my thoughts, ideas, perspectives. Y'all agree with me sometimes, y'all don't agree with me, but y'all got someone that can talk to you that's not being.
That's what I'm saying. He's used to his ideas and perspectives really being listened to, and that really did help grow the Kardashian clan. But you have to understand why you no longer have that amount of control. You're not with her. She's not going to give you the same level of control you once had over your life. And even when you were with her, there's a lot of women that would not have allowed what Kim Kardashian allowed. What woman in this world? Most women are not about to let you just throw away her clothes, just throw away everything and control her style and control where she goes and control how she looks. Kim let Kanye get away with so much, and now that she's taken that power back, he can't stand it. That's why he's been running around the world with Kim K lookalikes, with women who are supposed to be Kim K's replacement, because he likes having that control and power. He's grasping at something that's no longer there, and I feel for the man because it's like he's drowning, and I'm like, save him, but he's drowning and he's taken down everybody that's around him. That is the most dangerous thing for a person that is drowning, is when you try to save them, they accidentally drown you too. Kanye is taking everybody down. This is not the best. I really do hope that they go and get like custody stuff done, because Kim just trying to have an open door policy or just like kind of regulate this between them, it's not going to help. It's not going to work. And Kanye is going to wish that he just let it be, because I can't see a court really looking at him favorably after all this.
And I just look at my daughter, full makeup, singing She's in Love with an Emo Girl on TikTok, and I didn't have no say, no approval. Hey, what do you think? Do you think this would be cool or not?
You're not going to get that. And I have to let every man know that. And it sucks. This is why you have to be careful who you have kids with. You need to know that woman, trust that woman, understand that that woman's going to be bringing up your kids. Because if you end up in a situation where you are broken up, even if you have joint custody, you do not get a say what that child indulges in when she's out of your custody. It's not your time. It's not your choice. Kanye thinks he's going to be able to regulate everything about his daughter. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Legally, it's not going to happen. Unless by some miracle or curse of the devil, the entire court grants Kanye full custodial custody of his kids, which would never happen. He can't control every facet of North's life. When she's with her mother, she's going to get to be on TikTok, regardless of what you got to say. When she's with her mother, she can wear a little bit of makeup. And this is coming from a person who personally wouldn't want their kids to be on TikTok or wearing makeup. I'm being unbiased here. Personally, I agree with the viewpoint of Kanye. I don't want my kids exposed like that. But I have to understand that's just the life the Kardashians live. And Kanye seemed to understand that when it worked in his benefit. But now that he's out and doesn't have the control, he doesn't like it. It's not how the world works, babe.
You know what I mean? And I'm the one that made them cool. But then I'm not asked what's cool for my actual children.
In America.
No, you're out. You're out. You're out of the family, out of the loop, out of the castle. I'm sorry. Like, yes, you built that family. It is your fault. We have to deal with the Kardashians. So I kind of got to say, yeah, you get to suffer too. But I get it. I do. But the control you want, you're not going to get. And at this point, it's unhealthy. The amount of control Kim gave you when y'all were married was unhealthy. For you to think that you're going to continue to get that level of control now is outlandish, Kanye.
In America.
And the thing that you're not going to do is get me to do anything illegal or anything like your favorite word, erratic.
This video is erratic. Your threats against DL Hughley were illegal and should have been removed from Instagram. I'm pretty sure he took the post down now, but he should have been temporarily disabled by the Instagram platform itself. That is the benefit of being Kanye West. Kanye is benefiting from stuff that other men don't have. He's trying to draw conclusions and be like, oh, I'm just like other men that struggle with this. No, you're not. Your struggles largely are self-created. There are some men who are struggling against women who are cruel, who are mean, who truly aren't even good parents to the kids. And I feel for those guys. Kanye is not on that level. Kanye's lucky he gets to see his kids. There are some men who deserve to see their kids and don't get that opportunity. Okay, Kanye's trying to pull on people's heartstrings to be like, I'm one of these black fathers they're trying to throw out the house. No. That's not it, boo-boo. And I saw some videos. I don't know if it was this video or a different video. He tried to make it a racial issue, talking about these are black children. These are black children who the white people are trying to control. Not a racial issue, first of all, at all. Don't even bring it up. It's not. It truly is not. Number two, Kanye. Please stop asking the black community to claim your kids, okay? At most, we call them biracial and leave it at that. We don't claim Kim Kardashian's kids. They're not being raised black. They're not going to have the culture. They're biracial. They're mixed. They're not black. And for those of you who don't know, there is a difference. Ask the either Japanese, Korean, or Chinese communities who don't even consider full-blooded Chinese children born in America to even be Chinese. There's a certain culture and way of living and life that different people have. So I understand why the Chinese and the Japanese and the Koreans go so far as to distance themselves from even American-born Chinese. There's a huge culture shift. There's a huge cultural difference. But even biologically and genetically and the way that Kim Kardashian's children are going to walk this planet and live their life, they ain't black. They're not. So, but that's even besides the point. Kanye keeps trying to pull at any heartstring he can to get sympathy, whether it be from men who have unjustifiably been kept from their children, or the black community wanting to fight for other black people. He's trying to manipulate that situation. Other fathers, he's trying to manipulate that situation. People who have disdain for the Kardashians, he's trying to use those people to his benefit. And in this situation, I can honestly say I don't think Kanye deserves much sympathy. As a father, he deserves some sympathy, but he's going way beyond the bounds of what's acceptable or safe for anyone. This behavior is embarrassing and counterproductive to what he wants to achieve, which is some sort of say in custody within his children's life. The amount of control that he wants, he's not going to get. He's never going to have it. And if he continuously tries and attempts to have control, his children themselves are going to pull away from him. They're going to think less of him. He's going to be an overbearing, dominating parent. That's embarrassing because all of his rant and raving on the internet. I have been put into a position where I actually feel bad for Kim Kardashian. This is so disgusting. This is abhorrent behavior displayed by Kanye. And yet she kind of knew what she married into the same way Kanye knew what he married into. It's a very toxic situation. And I hope that people can learn from this. Women, don't let men have that much control in your life, because you end up in situations like this when you finally get to leave them. They feel like they own you. They feel like you're property. They feel like the kids are property. They don't want to let the kids be who the kids are, have fun. They want to have so much control to the point where it's unhealthy and toxic. At some point, you have to let North be who North is. North's likely going to turn out like her mom, wanting to be on social media, social platforms, and she's going to resent anyone who stood in her way. It's better to allow her some sort of exposure without just throwing the gates open and letting her do whatever she wants. Just give her a taste without letting her, stuff herself and eat everything in sight, if you get my analogy. And men, honestly, this should truly serve as a lesson to you to be extremely careful about the women whom you impregnate. You over here having fun. It's all fun and games until someone gets pregnant, and then you expect to have a say. When you didn't display that same level of care when you were impregnating that stranger, you didn't display that same level of engagement when you were engaging in the sexual act that got that woman pregnant. You weren't being that safe. You weren't being if it was that serious, you should have married the woman. I do separate men that married women versus men that just impregnated women. I have a lot less sympathy if you're just going around and impregnating women. Don't come over here griping because you made mistakes and now the woman's in control. She was always in control. And by being irresponsible, you let her have that control. For the men that, you have just mean ex-wives, do not act like Kanye West. It's very important that you prove that you are a capable, competent parent that's going to provide safety and stability to your children. Going around and threatening and ranting and raving, embarrassing the kids and your ex only creates a situation where it puts the public against you and the court system against you. I will be, keeping up with this because it's been all over the internet. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. If Pete and Kim can keep their mouths shut, I don't understand why Kanye can't. Mr. I'm a God-fearing man. No, you're not. But I'll be keeping an eye on this just to see how it progresses because it's getting worse. He keeps instigating and getting worse and climbing higher. And it's like, how much worse could it get? They really need to get courts involved. Really need to get courts involved. And a lot of the stuff that it takes to get into a custody battle, you can do yourself. For those of you who are in the situation, you can go to the courts. They usually can walk you through the process. You don't need to get a lawyer. You can draw up the paperwork, map out the days, handle child custody like payments if you need to. They will walk you through all of that. Hell, I can walk you through all of that. Been there, done that, like I said. So just, it's better to engage in custodial things before it gets nasty, before it gets toxic. Men, if you're on good terms with your ex now, this is the time to start the custody paperwork when she's being nice to you. I'm just, hey, look, hints from someone who's been forced to deal with the situation. Do it when she's on good terms, because the moment she starts to hate you, she's going to make your life hell. You think it's bad now, it can get worse. So drop the custody papers as soon as possible before she becomes vindictive, before she starts, breathing down your neck, trying to take you for everything you got. Do it while she kind of still likes you, okay? In the comment section below, let me know what you think about Kanye West's behavior towards his ex-wife and her new boyfriend. If you were the child in this situation, how would you feel? Like, how do you think North feels? How do you think Chicago feels? Like, into the future, how do you think these children are going to view this? Are you a parent, a father perhaps, that's having to deal with this situation that truly unjustifiably is being kept away from your children? I am sorry for that, but if you feel like you want to tell us kind of the situation so we understand different perspectives, by all means, put it in the comment section. I do read the comments. So put all your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And remember, I love you and I will miss you, but I will be back in a future video. Bye.